This is a game station. It's currently in a cardboard box, but I'm going to be buying tubs today, and the tubs will just protect our equipment, our game equipment, from dew and from rain if there's potential rain. It looks like it's going to be beautiful though. And inside the game station, you're going to find equipment for your game, such as cones, balloons, frisbees, laser tags. Some of your stations may actually have 2 tubs. Because I got 20 of these laser tag guns, and so I may have to have a tub just for them on their own, and then another tub for that station for the rest of the equipment. Inside, well, you're going to find tape to the tub, one of the tubs, station 4, and it's a laminated list of rules. And inside you will find the laminated list of rules laying in the tub. These are not to make your life harder. These are put here to make your life easier. You don't necessarily have to play the game the way that I have it laid out, but I do ask that when you do play the game, agree with all your chaperones, make sure everybody knows what the rules are. And, if you see that you don't have something that you need, you can contact me as soon as you can. Send a chaperone to come get me. Or you can just adapt and overcome, improvise, use a stick from the woods if you have to, draw boundaries if you need to, using your chaperones. Use what you have in order to make the games work. There are going to be 2 types of chaperones, and one is a station chaperone, and the second is a team chaperone. There are going to be roughly three chaperones per station. Your job is to run the games best you can, to try to have them compete fairly. And then you have a team chaperone. Your job is to escort the teams from station to station, and very important, also to keep score for your team. Night games don't count. Night games are just for fun. We're not getting competitive with those. But during the daytime, the traditional camp games, kayak racing, egg toss, things like that, if you are a team chaperone that is escorting the team from station to station, you have to keep score. Well, how do I know what chaperone I am? When you go through registration, these are randomly given out to all the chaperone adults. And so you will be given your itinerary, and it will differ on game time. It'll say station 1, or if you get a station 2 itinerary, it'll say station 2. But that's how you know what you are. And if you don't want to, how would you say, like if I got my itinerary and it said that I was a team chaperone for the Deceptive Possums, and I didn't want to be a team chaperone, I just wanted to run games, maybe because I like games or whatever reason, I just go find somebody else at the beginning of camp before it gets started, during the registration time. Go find somebody else and just switch itineraries with them, another chaperone. And you also, I'm going to give you guys whistles, okay? Maybe save our voices a little bit. We're not going to have any like mics or amps or anything like that. So we're going to have whistles. Please don't give them to your kids and let your kids play with them. Keep the whistles around your neck. Keep the itineraries around your neck, and we're going to have a blast. Roles of chaperones, obviously to monitor the games, and then to monitor children's safety. If you see them doing something that is going to hurt themselves, or misusing the property, I'll say that. And usually that's how we get hurt anyway. If you see them standing on top of a table, those are not our tables. They're the state parks tables. Tell them to get down off the table. That's not made to stand on. It's made to sit at, right? I always tell my kids, if you're playing pool and you got a pool stick's made for shooting pool, right? You're not supposed to use it as a lightsaber and have a lightsaber duel with it, because they're not made for that. They break. You disrespect the pool stick, you lose the pool stick, right? And so just make sure we use things for what their intended purpose, not letting kids wander away from where they're supposed to be at according to the itinerary. And the one thing they told me at Corinth Elementary is that an adult should be present at all times. Even if something happens, if a fight breaks out or someone does something, the worst thing that can happen is you say, "Oh, well, I don't know what happened because I wasn't there." Even if you don't necessarily know how to handle the situation, having eyes and ears
into what happened is really, really key. And if you come into a situation that you don't know how to handle, I'm there. I'm just literally floating, going around fixing problems, and I have more than just me there to help do that. So if you have a problem, say a student's giving you a hard time, but they're not listening to you, I always tell, as far as discipline, you warn them once, and if they don't listen to you, that's fine. If they do it again, you pull them to the side and you talk to them. If you feel comfortable doing that. If you don't, you can find somebody, one of your fellow chaperones feels comfortable, you come get me to do it. The third step of disciplinary procedure is you actually contact me and say, hey, this kid is not doing what I'm telling them to do. They're being mean to other kids, they're hitting somebody, whatever it is. And I will pull the kid to the side and I will give him one final warning and I say, hey, you do it again, and I'm calling your mom and dad, and you're going home. And then, of course, the final procedure is to call mom and dad. I have a master list with all the names and numbers. Call mom and dad and send the student home, which we don't want to do that. But just so you know, I'm there. I'm going to be there 24 hours. So if there are any issues or anything you run into that you don't know how to handle, you can just get a hold of me. Some adults have requested some of the kids stay in cabins with specific adults, and that's fine. I'm going to start at the top real quick and just kind of explain cabin registration, because that's not all pre-laid out. It's kind of randomly drawn. So I'm going to explain to you how you're going to get what you need or what you want or what you requested. One is adult-wise and student-wise, everybody can pick one bunking partner. That's the initial rule, right? So if me and say Thomas, for instance, want to bunk together and want to chaperone together, when I'm going through registration, I will actually wait for Thomas to get there. If I get there early or get there late, I'll stand under the basketball goal, and when he gets there, me and him will go through registration together, and we will tell the people at the registration table, hey, I want to bunk with Thomas, and they will draw us a cabin number, and the cabin number, they'll put both of us in the cabin number that they draw, because the cabin numbers are randomly drawn out to distribute adults and children to cabins. Now, if you have a special request for a specific student to stay in a cabin with you, whether it's your son, daughter, as long as they're the same sex, obviously can't have a daughter stay with, in a male cabin. But son, daughter, or maybe it's just a kid that you want to keep an eye on, that's perfectly fine. We can handle that. Just when you go through registration, make sure you let the table know that, hey, I want so-and-so to be in this and to be in my cabin. Now, if you're wanting 3 kids to stay in a cabin with you, that might be a problem, because it can kind of break the 2 rule. I'm not saying that we can't do that, but I would prefer you to keep it like 2 and under, if that's possible. But if it's not possible and you absolutely have to have the 3 kids, specific kids in your cabin, we can manage that too. Thank you, chaperones. Looking forward to serving with you this weekend.